Hey, took a while, but I am here, and I'm gonna wait for a few people to come in. I had to rush home. Been out and about all day, so here we are live, and yeah, so I'm gonna give it a minute or so for anyone to come in. Tonight's live is going to be about vitamin D deficiency and anemia. So I was trying to do it on my laptop, but I'm gonna do it here on the phone. And as I get better with these lives and just with the setup, I want to convert from my laptop to from my phone to my laptop. So let's see, is there anyone in here? Grab my glasses. I was trying to eat dinner real quick. Hold on. All right, so we do have one person in here. So yeah, let's see your questions. Tonight's vlog or tonight's live is about iron deficiency and anemia. So I can get started just talking about a little bit about it while I wait for other people to come in. So a viewer asked for me to do a video or to touch on iron deficiency and anemia regarding if I was able to supplement both, or if like how I went about handling my iron deficiency and my anemia, my iron deficiency and my vitamin D deficiency, sorry. And if I, try to address them individually or if I try to address them both at the same time. So to answer those questions is I address them both at the same time. But to first and foremost, even just give you an update of where I am, I've struggled with vitamin D deficiency. I've been struggling with it, so it's been up and down for me. Like what I mentioned in the video earlier today, it's been an ongoing process for me, and this vitamin D deficiency has not been anything nice. Where I live close to Canada, so we have very extremely long winters. The last snow day where I live at was April 29th. So when you're having a snow day in April, at the end of April, that kind of gives you an idea on how things are. With vitamin D deficiency, it has a lot to do with your location, where you live, and also with your skin, how dark you are, how light you are, how much sun you get in the area that you live in. Where I live at, we don't get a lot of sun. It's summer right now, so there's a lot of sun that is out, but it's still not adequate because we have a lot of clouds here. Very cloudy days. So the sun is out, but the clouds are blocking it. So it's just easy for, especially black people in the area or the region that I live in, to be vitamin D deficient. Although it's not just isolated to black people. So how I went about supplementing. Over the past few years, my levels have risen and fallen, and it's due to our long winters. It's due to our very short summers. Let me just take a look. I don't see, give me a second so that I can kind of like see your questions. I don't see that popping up here. And that was the whole point of me doing the live. The reason why I wanted to do the live, part of my glasses. Let's see. Why, oh, why? So thank you guys. Well, thank you person. The one person that I see in here for bearing with me on this trial and error. I tested this out earlier, but it's not showing me your messages. Damn. Why is that? Oh my gosh. Person, show me the messages. I don't want to see this. All right. why I do not see the messages. They're not populating. What I'm gonna do is go out and come back in, and actually I want to see if I turn this at a different angle. I do apologize. Oh my gosh. Well, for the person that's saying maybe there's no messages because you're not asking anything. So if you have any questions, you can ask away. They should populate on the screen. And in the meantime, I'll just continue talking about it. So how I went about addressing my iron anemia and my vitamin D was I take iron supplements. The supplements that I take is Fesol Bifera iron. And that is a complete form of iron, but it is very mild on your digestive system. So like I know that when taking iron, it can be issues of constipation, there can be issues of stomach cramping or just pain. So the iron that my hematologist recommended for me to take is Fesol Bifera. One of the things that I do want to address if you are anemic, that it took me kind of a while to get with a specialist. The very first thing that you need to do when told that you're anemic is to have your doctor send you to a specialist. So, you know, your GP might say, okay, yeah, you're anemic, you know, you need to take these iron pills or so on and so forth. Have them send you to a specialist. That's one of the errors that I made in this, and I was taking iron, I wasn't really feeling better. Once I got with my hematologist, the very first thing that he did was, you know, he checked my iron levels, but he's checking them from a different way because he's actually a specialist. With checking that, we found out that I was very anemic, and at the point in time that I was going to the specialist, the very first thing he noticed, I was extremely anemic, but he had taken a look at my cells, and my cells were my red blood cells. They were normal cells and there were small cells, and that is a sign of anemia. But it was like they were all over the place, and my counts were low. So what I needed at that time was an iron infusion. Thankfully, I didn't need a blood transfusion, but it was low enough that I did need iron infusions. It was like the pills just were not going to get it. Once I got the iron infusions, which I went twice, and I have done a video on that, I just haven't posted it up. Once I got the iron infusions, I felt amazing. I felt like I was 12 again. I felt so great. I wasn't sleepy, and this happened in the span of like 2 or 3 weeks. The infusions were everything. But once I got the infusions, from there I was able to take the Fesol Bifera iron and keep my levels up. So over those few months, my levels have come up. Over about 3 months after having the infusions and going hard with taking my iron supplements every day, I noticed a difference in how I was feeling, and I started feeling a lot better. But I wasn't all the way feeling better just yet because I still had the vitamin D deficiency. That is the problem that I'm struggling with, because my levels will come up over the summertime. Again, our summers start around May, June-ish. Once June comes in, then we'll start getting the warm temperatures, 80s, some 90s, but it's just not a hot place here. And by the time my levels start to rise, over June, July, August, our weather changes towards the middle of August and it starts to get cold again. So I really only have like a 2-month window to try to get my levels to rise. They rise, and then there's like a whole nother 8 to 10 months that they just fall again. So usually by December, I'm right back where I started from with my deficiency. As I may have mentioned in another video, I'm unable to take the 50,000 IU. I started taking that, and for me, it affected me. I just couldn't handle that large dosage at one time. And I did some reading and, you know, speaking with other people that are anemic. I mean, that have vitamin D deficiency, and some other people have struggles with taking the high dosage. So I switched to taking 5,000 IU of vitamin D daily, and I noticed that I can take that for a few days, maybe 3 or 4 days, and I have to kind of fall back a little bit because it makes me extremely jittery, extremely racy, and I don't know why I'm having that reaction, but that's what's happening. So I ended up taking the over-the-counter 2,000 IU, and that helped get my vitamin D levels up. And currently, what I'm doing to get them up, because actually I am vitamin D deficient at this present moment again, because of the situation I just explained to you with our really long winter last winter. So my numbers have fallen. So I will actually be beginning this journey all over again with a lot of you. Going forward now, being vitamin D deficient, I found out my levels today were at 18. And when I first was diagnosed with vitamin D deficiency, I was at a 12. And so I'm not too far off from where I began. Even though I look nothing like I did when I experienced this the first time, I still feel pretty crappy. That's actually what took me a little time getting on here tonight, because I'll get the back pains. I get back pains in my upper back. I'll get a lot of shakiness. There's tons of brain fog. It's just kind of like, where's this? Where's that? Hold on. And just things, even kind of look hazy, which anemia can also do as well. So just having those two things together, you can feel pretty crappy. But to get to the core of the answer, you do have to, with any deficiencies that you have to address them all at the same time. It's not a pick and choose or a, let me address this, then I'll get back to this. When you have a deficiency, what I've noticed is that you're more than likely deficient somewhere else. Before discovering that I had a vitamin D deficiency, I was hospitalized for potassium and magnesium deficiency. Well, actually, I was hospitalized because I was having irregular heartbeats and my heart was beating out of rhythm. I was having spikes in my blood pressure, and I was having spikes in my heart rate that would just come out of nowhere. So I went to the hospital for that and remained there a week. They did a stress test on my heart. Everything was fine. And they came back with me being potassium and, hey, someone's here. Potassium and magnesium deficient. Let me take a look and see. So I stayed in the hospital for a week. They told me I was magnesium and potassium deficient, and that my electrolytes were basically off. They addressed that issue, but what was not addressed at the time was my vitamin D. About 6 months later, I discovered my vitamin D deficiency actually by watching a YouTube video here and going back to my doctors and having them check me specifically for vitamin D deficiency. So the reason why I say all that is there were magnesium deficiencies, potassium deficiencies. I was anemic. But I also had a vitamin D deficiency that I didn't know about. So when you're experiencing this vitamin D deficiency, it's best to have your blood work checked for everything. I've had every test known. I've had so many tests done, it's ridiculous. But I needed to get those things done so that I would be in the know, like what is going on with my body from head to toe. So I've had MRIs, CT scans. I've had Dopplers done on my legs at times that I've had excruciating leg pain to make sure I didn't have any blood clots. I've had to address my anemia. I've looked into UTI. I looked into IUDs. I was about to say UTI. I looked into IUDs. I did different things to alter my monthly cycle. I have been through the works trying to relentlessly solve these issues. So when you are anemic, vitamin D deficient, anything, you have to go hard. You have to, one, get a good doctor. I did have to switch doctors once. And you also have to look at this as, don't just wait on your doctor to just do, all of the work. you have to look at it as if you're doing the work, but you're having your doctor assist you to getting the things that you can't get done, like getting your blood work done, sending you to different specialists, sending you, to get whatever that you need done. Let them be your assistants, but you have to make the choice to go hard. The next thing I want to quickly talk about, because I cannot see, if you're asking questions, I can't see them, so I am going to reload this after this just to see if there's anything that I missed. Let me see. Oh, what's a good root cause to these deficiencies? Hey, Ashley, let me put my glasses on. Maybe that's why I'm missing the question. What I think that a root cause to these deficiencies vary. I think that it varies according to person. I think that it varies according to where you live. For me, it's turning out that my root cause of these deficiencies is my environment. I live, like I said, I live in upstate New York. I'm directly near Canada. Are you all better now? Actually, hi, beauty addict. It's been a long time. I am not better now. I am actually not. I am better now, but I'm also not better now. I just learned today. My doctor did give me a call. I had a vitamin D deficiency test 2 days ago, and they called me today and told me that my levels have now dropped back down. At one point they reached 40, and that was kind of like my maximum, but 40 still isn't, I mean, it was decent, but it could have been better, and now I'm back down to 18. So if you didn't hear me explain it earlier, we had a really hard, crazy long winter here. Keep my glasses on. I wasn't taking enough daily, beauty addict. I was not taking enough daily. I started doing the 50,000 again in January, and Robert Glass. Oh, I'll come back to your question. I started doing a 50,000 IU once again in January, and I noticed by February I was having very shortness of breath, a lot of chest pain, a lot of discomfort in my chest. But the difference was I was taking a 50,000 and then I switched off because I ran out, and I started taking an over-the-counter vitamin D3 with K2. And let me tell you about this K2. I started doing the K2 vitamin D3. And I noticed that after about 2 or 3 weeks, actually I was taking the K2 and I was taking the 50,000 is when I started taking the K2. And then I switched, I took a K2 gummy. And I started noticing chest fullness, and by the end of February, I had an incident where I was rushed to the hospital, and my blood pressure was 187 over 124. So I stopped at that point taking all supplements because I wanted to understand what was going on, and I had a visit with my cardiologist, and she told me personally that my K2, K2 it made me feel weird too. I know that a lot of people on YouTube will say, oh, if you're taking vitamin D, you need K2. That's a lie. You need K2 if you personally need it. I was taking a K2 and I just didn't need it. So when I went to my cardiologist, she asked me, why are you taking K2? I said, well, because I read a lot of things and I saw some things on YouTube, which they don't want to hear, but it was the truth. And it recommended taking K2 with the D3. And so she said, but your K2 is fine. Your body has no issue making K2. Your K2 is great, actually. And you should not be taking it because it could make your heart work harder. It thickens your blood, which could have made your blood, made your heart work harder. So that could have been what was happening. By the 3rd week of my taking K2, not only did I feel weird, I couldn't really breathe well. I had no appetite. It was my birthday weekend, and my birthday fell on a Saturday this week. And I could do absolutely nothing. And that Monday morning, I was rushed to the hospital. I was driving my daughter to school. I got to the light, and I felt like I was going to pass out. So I pulled over, and I couldn't lift my arms up. It was extremely scary. And when the paramedics got there, they asked me a few questions, and I couldn't answer the questions for them. One of the main questions they asked me was what year it was, and I said 1990 something. So there's that. So I am not an advocate of K2, and I'm also not an advocate of just jumping out here trying everything that everyone on YouTube, says. I know that when you're dealing with this deficiency, you can feel very afraid, and also anxiety. That's the one thing that I do want to touch on. If you're at home right now and you're feeling like you're tripping and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, why am I just so jumpy, anxious, or whatever, it is not you. Don't you believe it. It is the deficiency. How do you feel now? My head was my biggest issue. What do you mean by your head was your biggest issue? Like the brain fog, or were you having like pain or something like that? That's to Beauty Addict. The brain fog, my brain fog is horrible, and it still is. My memory was shot. I went to Whole Foods and I was trying to explain to the guy that I wanted to do a shot of wheatgrass, and we got into a conversation and I couldn't remember how to say blender. I was trying to explain to him I have a blender at home, and I said every other word, and he's like, Miss, are you okay? He's like, Miss, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Just, work with me for a minute. My memory is horrible, and you see, sometimes when I was driving, I would get confused. Confusion is real. I had lightheadedness, I'm forgetful. Wow. Listen, so when I was at my doctor's, I spoke with my nurse practitioner, who I like better than my doctor. I'm just saying, she's thorough. And I have anxiety right now. I didn't want to admit it. That's another reason why I've been saying I'm going to put up a video. So take magnesium. Magnesium is important. We'll get to that. But earlier in the year, they're like, we think that you're still like a little anxious and edgy. I'm in Robert Glass. Thank you, Robert. Yeah, when I went to the doctor earlier this year, they're like, we just think that maybe you're a little bit anxious. This was my actual doctor. And I'm like, I don't believe so. I believe I'm anxious right now because I think that I am out of the norm of how I really am, like my natural personality. I'm an outgoing person. I'm introverted, extrovert. If you don't know, I did music for years and years and years. So I have been in front of every crowd. I have stage dived. I have done everything that, is unnerving. So for me to now feel extremely apprehensive is, it was like a red light for me. Like, okay, why am I like really, really nervous? I went on a little short walk some months ago, and that was another red flag for me that my vitamin D was back. Did you feel stomach pains from vitamin D? Oh, I'll get to that. But I was very apprehensive being really close to home and just going on little walks, and I noticed that driving to work had become an issue, so much so that I had to kind of fall back from that. To answer your question, I feel like I'm talking so fast. Tell me to slow down if I am, because I know I can get it going. Stomach pains, I was having some stomach issues, and if you've seen my videos back in January, I had a colonoscopy done, and colonoscopy done, and a week later I had an endoscopy, or the other way around. But I've been having digestive issues for the past few years, and it got to the point where I needed to go and see what was going on. So just to get a full, just a full clearance and know that I'm all good, I got an endoscopy done because I was having some diaphragm fluttering. I was having extreme acid reflux. I'm talking burning and churning, and I, may or may not have eaten anything just for no apparent reason. And I had to have my gallbladder removed. Right, I remember you telling me that. Wow. Yeah, and so I needed to make sure that actually, I believe it was you that told me about the gallbladder, and that was one of the reasons why I really wanted to get the endoscopy done and get checked out, because for a moment I thought I was having gallbladder issues. I was having extreme belching all the time. I'm reading your notes when you see me pause like that. Right. 36 isn't great enough. You still got a little ways to go, but at least it's up there. But yeah, I wanted to get my gallbladder checked because I needed to know what the heck was going on. I was having trouble eating. I was having a lot of pain and discomfort. Oh, wow. So that's pretty much what went on with my stomach. Regina, I'm going to get to yours. Hopefully I answered. I'm trying to memorize them. I should have. Note to self, I'll bring a notepad next time so that I could write this stuff down as you say it so I know what to touch on. But I got the endoscopy done and the colonoscopy, and everything came back fine. I did make some dietary changes after that. I cut out coffee. I am a coffee addict. If you look over here, I have a coffee bar, my own personal coffee bar, espresso machines, all that. I love coffee, but I had to give it up while I was figuring out what was going on with my stomach. I did feel a little bit better. I had to cut out a lot of junky food. I had to start cooking a whole lot more and making time to do those things, which is hard. You're just grabbing something when you're at work. And I had to cut my hours at work. And thank God I was in a position that I was able to do it. So, yeah. For Regina, with your hair and nails, as you see, I'm bald-headed now. I had to cut it off because I was getting so frustrated by the way it was falling out. My nails are brittle, but they're getting stronger now, but they are so crappy. They are just so, but they're much stronger than what they were. My hair is growing back finally because I cut it off and I cut it a little too low. Everybody thought it was a guy. I'm like, no. You see, so glad you're better with your hair. My hair is recovering. My hair is a lot better now. Way better now. So that's why I'm deciding to grow it back. Last year, I cut my hair off because of all of the breakage. I mean, it wasn't even breakage at one point. I would wash my hair, and while I'm washing it, if I go to do a 2-strand twist because I was natural, it would just come out in my hand. It would just come out in clumps, and it was pretty scary. And so I got tired of the unevenness, and I did a big chop video on here where I just cut it off. Try to be brave about it and just do it. But I really didn't want to cut my hair off. It was the longest that I've grown it. It was to the middle of my back. I was loving it. And that was the first time that I ever grew it that length, and it had to go. Thank you so much, Regina. The larger messages, I'm trying to read them, but they disappear on my end so fast, just so that you know. But what I will do is go back after this video and go through each of your questions. So while we're doing this, if I don't answer your question, you guys see I'm good about answering questions. The reason I really take your questions seriously, because when I was experiencing this and didn't know where to go, I was going through hell at home. Do you understand me? I wish I had someone to talk to about this. I wish someone could relate to me. I didn't know what the heck was going on, and I was tripping hard. I was bugging. I really was, because I was scared. At my lowest point, I started writing down all my emails and my passwords to my children, like, hey, listen, if something happens, this is, where this is what's going on, call this person. It got to that point because I really thought that I was dying. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So when you guys send me questions, I really try to I think I respond to every single last one, because I don't want you guys. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. We're gonna get through this crap. We're gonna win this. But you know what? Don't be afraid, because one, we're still here, and two, we know that we know why we're feeling crappy. So keep your questions coming. I'm gonna make sure that I do another video where I just answer all of your questions in it, if they're not addressed in this. So I just want you to know, when you're typing, it's not in vain if I don't answer it. But I believe that you'll be fully normal. I believe that because I'm feeling so much better. Like when my doctor called me yesterday and said, or actually it was this morning, I'm tripping. But when she called and they said, hey, your levels are low again. You're at 18 and we need to get on this. I didn't feel scared like how I did before, because I feel like now we have more tools and more information that's out there about it. I'm starting to hear more about vitamin D deficiency, and just with me going through it and listening to my body, I can kind of like know, what's going on. So I feel more empowered right now because I feel like I know more and I have more experience. So it's like, yes, in 18, and yes, I feel, despite how I look, which is another thing that was frustrating to me. I know someone said that I look, very healthy, and I thank you for that. But I was telling my doctors that I go in there like, oh my God, you look great. And I'm like, I feel like shit today. Okay. So I'm going to need you to help me, you know, get through this. And so, you know, I lost my train of thought there. That's the brain fog. But you can look one way on the outside, but it doesn't, that has nothing to do with how you feel on the inside. Bruising easily, yes. I wish I could show you guys. Damn. I wish I could show you this. Listen, not only bruising easily, yesterday I was just taking a simple shower. I got out and I'm like, what the heck is on my neck? So I have like a long gash from, not really a gash, I'm over exaggerating, but a long scratch from here to here. And I'm like, I didn't even know it. So I put alcohol on it, kept it moving. But I'm also noticing how my skin is responding. Like when I sunbathe and I come out, I'll have a lot of patchiness on my skin. It's not on my arms, but it's all over my legs. Extremely blotchy. It almost looks like rosacea. So I have been extremely sensitive to, scratches, cuts, or whatever. Your skin gets sensitive with anemia and also with vitamin D deficiency. What else can I address? The vitamins that I'm taking, and I would love to know which vitamins you guys are taking, because I know some of you are taking liquid. Has anyone on here gotten injection for it before? I've seen people talk about getting injections. You guys have to pardon all of these little gnats that are coming around this light, but I live in a very woodsy woodsy type of area, so we have all the bugs. But yeah, I wanted to know, like, if anyone taking the injections, what type of vitamin D are you using? I hope that by now everyone on here knows that vitamin D3 is what we should be taking, not the D2. What else? I get it. Okay. Neck pain. I've had neck pain, but mostly I've had back and upper, like right in this area is where I get a ton of pain. So I don't know if that's from the D3 or the fact that I slipped a few years ago. So I can't really call it, but I do know this, that I get a lot of pain. Also, when I'm eating sodium, tons of pain. And my blood pressure is great, but I've noticed I'm very sensitive to things now. So I don't know if any of you have experienced sensitivity to, things that may not have, caused you issues before. Health-wise, could talk about that briefly. If you want to know some of the changes that I made, I don't drink dairy, so I get orange juice now to have vitamin D and vitamin C in it. I am starting back on the 5,000 IU per day. Anxiety. So anxiety is a definite symptom. Yes, definite symptom. Um, People don't like to talk about the anxiety. I don't really like to talk about the anxiety. I think it's one of those things that you rather be in denial about because of the perception that comes with anxiety. You know, when someone says, "Oh God, you're so anxious," um, it makes you feel like, "Is there something wrong with me? What are you saying? Are you trying to say?" You know, and that's kind of how I, took that. So no, I was not trying to, say yes, I'm anxious, but anxiety is a definite issue with this. I've really been struggling with it. The only thing I want to suggest to you guys too with the anxiety, health anxiety, yes, I have that as well. Just think of it this way: when you are dealing with anxiety, it's coming from somewhere. So my thing is, when I very first went to a doctor, the first thing they said is, "Oh, I think that you have anxiety and depression." I'm like, okay, well, the winter time here is 9 months long, and I'm sure anyone would get depressed like that. But with the anxiety, I felt like, okay, maybe I do have it, but why? Everything isn't just, well, here, take this pill. So that was the first thing they offered me was, okay, well, we can give you some anxiety medication and some, medication for depression. And I was totally against that because my thing is, if I'm not an anxious person and now I have anxiety, we need to try to get to the root of why. So you may have anxiety, but just tell yourself when you're having them anxious moments that this is that deficiency. No, this is definitely a part of the deficiency. When I had my doctor's visit this week, just to be specific, I asked her, I said, you guys keep throwing around the anxiety thing. I thought I was dying too. I really truly did. Um, is it a definite symptom? It is a definite symptom. Anxiety is a definite symptom of vitamin D deficiency. Depression is a definite symptom because you have to think about this. Even though it's called vitamin D deficiency, it's a hormone. It's not a vitamin. It's a hormone. I look at it this way: if the sun affects everything around us, we have our cell phones and things, and we have to plug those things in to get them to charge. Why wouldn't we benefit from that recharge as well? We need that as well. I want to keep this live going, but I'm going to have to plug in. So, because I don't want to lose you guys. So I'll keep it going for, sorry. This is so bad of me. If you guys could give me a second to plug in, we can go for about another, I say well, I don't have anything to do, but I don't want to make a, hella long video like a lot of these YouTubers. Thank you too. Listen, one thing I want to say before, and then I really need to plug this in. Please understand that you guys are helping me as much as you say that I help you. It's been plenty of nights that I've seen a comment come through and I'm like, really? Anxiety? Or really? You felt this? And I'm like reading this stuff and I'm like, wow, this sounds just like me. And so you guys have been helping me. This is definitely a reciprocity type of situation. You guys have really, really helped me. I really wish that you understood, and I hope that you know from how I'm saying it, you guys have helped me through this enormously, enormously. I really can't explain. I really can't explain the depth of my gratefulness because no, you guys really have gotten me through some very dark moments. Just with your comments and your well wishes and things like that. Um, if you can give me a second, I know this is tacky, but I really don't want to lose you and I want to plug this in. So if you can give me 30 seconds. Here we go. Thank you. I am so sorry. That was so tacky. But I had to get it done. I was going to lose you guys, and I do not want to lose you. So, yeah. I'm going to sit and wait for the next question. Does anyone get head tension? I've experienced head tension, like the band here, but not often. But at my lowest or my worst moments, I especially experienced it when I was taking that K2. I do not recommend K2 whatsoever. If you guys are thinking about taking the K2, please see your doctor first. Really go to your doctor and find out your levels on things before you just start taking stuff. Let me see. I think someone asked about magnesium, or that they take magnesium. Please, please, please take your magnesium. I know I have a video on that, but your magnesium is extremely important to your conversion of vitamin D into your body. So whether you're taking a supplement, which and a diet changes, you have to take you have to get it. I use liquid magnesium. Okay, great. Can you like list the kind that you use? I take Natrol, Natrol magnesium. I take 2 chewables every night, pretty much every night, and I've noticed a difference with my sleep and my restless legs. I don't know if any of you have experienced restless leg syndrome, but you can get that with this also, and it helped enormously. Also dietary changes. I eat oatmeal now, the real oatmeal, not the box stuff full of sugar. The real oatmeal with the old-fashioned oatmeal. Use the spray from the healthcare. I have the spray too, the topical spray. You can use a topical spray. I think I put all of that stuff in the video. Next video, I'll bring down all the supplements, good, bad, and ugly, that I've used. Yeah. Your body aches and you just really can't believe that you're going through this pain. My doctor yesterday, she called it moan, groans, and bones. She said, when you're thinking of vitamin D deficiency, remember moans, groans, and bones. I was like, I never heard that before. She's like, yeah, because you will be in pain, moaning, you know, groaning, and your bones just hurting and painful. She said usually when a person comes into her office and they're talking about that, she knows to check them for their vitamin D. I just feel like I'm sick with something or have a disease, cancer. I'm always. Me too. And that causes the health anxiety. But you know what? I'm team go to the ER when I need to. I'm team go to the doctor. And guess what? They'll just have to deal with it because it does make you feel old. I always, like I said, I feel like an old ass lady, you know, but yeah, crackling, you twist in certain ways, you wake up. I've experienced a lot of bone pain, a lot, but that has gone away. That has gone away tremendously, but lately I've been feeling it come back on me again, which is why I knew it was time for me to go to the doctor and get checked. But I also knew that I wasn't doing everything that I needed to do. You know, I was not taking the vitamin D because I just didn't like the way that, really it was the K2 thing, but I wasn't for sure which one was making me feel so jacked up. So I was like, you know what, to hell with everything. I'm just going to leave it all alone. But the fact is, you have to take it. I have to take it. So again, like I said, I started back on the 5,000 IU, and I'm going to take that every day, and I've been sunbathing. I didn't hear about K2 until I, you know, started going through my comments, and everyone's like, oh, you got to take K2, and it got to me, and I was like, should I be taking K2, really? So I looked into it, I looked it up, and, you know, saw some things, and then I live in a vitamin store, so I went there and I asked about it, and then they have the gummies, which they were vegan gummies. I don't eat pork or gelatin. So they were vegan gummies, and they just seem so innocent. And I mean, when I say they taste like candy, I was looking forward every night to taking that little K2 gummy. And that's kind of how it snuck up on me that by week 3, I didn't realize that this little you know, inconspicuous gummy is probably what had me feeling like I was about to have a heart attack. So I'm not an advocate for K2, and you know, if it works for some people, great. Okay, celery. I didn't know that. I do like celery. I will try that. Calcification. The calcification part that's where the magnesium comes in at. Well, and also I know they say the K2, but I'm sorry, I just can't. Celery. I'm gonna have to try. I will eat celery. I haven't had celery juice, but I'm willing to try it. I have a juicer, and yeah, I would definitely try that. Thank you. I feel so weird sitting out here. My head looks so big. Oh my gosh. So let's see. Celery juice and water. Oh, speaking of water, bam. Please drink your water. I drink at least about 2 of these a day now. Yeah. Hair grows back. If you're cute, you're cute. That's what I tell people, you know. That's what I had to tell myself. Just try to wear it like I'm cute. But hair grows back. That I think the hair is like, I mean, we're women, so you know we love our hair. So I'm not gonna just say that it was just easy to just cut off, but I just try to embrace it and just look at it like it's something that I had to do at the moment while I go through this process. And that's the best way I'll say, you know, like for anyone that has to cut their hair. If you don't have to cut it, then thank you. Thank you. I just needed to get a little bit long because my last few doctor stays, I heard the one of the nurses, she was like, so I'm gonna help him, and I'm like, him? Who is she talking to? Me? So yeah, I had to keep my makeup on with the with the shorter hair so that they don't mistake me for a guy. So yeah, that's too funny. But thank you, Ashley. So water, this is your friend. Whole foods, not the grocery store. Eating as much whole foods as possible. Not being too restrictive on your body while you're going through this, like with some of what you're eating. In regards to, like, some people like to just cut everything out. This is not the time to be, I'm going to do the no carb diet and I know this and know that. What does it say? I don't. I've never heard of that app before. I haven't used it. I just use my Fitness Pal to kind of track what I'm eating. I've lost 10 pounds in the past few months, and I've been trying to walk more. I don't know if any of you experienced this. When I work out, usually the next day I'm in a lot of pain, excruciating pain. So that's another thing that you might want to look out for. Oh, okay, I'll look into that. An app about when we get the most sun. Okay, see, the issue here is not the sun. The issue here is the clouds. Western New York, we had last year 365 days, we had 280 days of clouds. So the sun is out, you can see it, it's just not shining on you, honey. It is just hitting the top of these clouds, and these clouds would just come in like, it's just awful, the clouds here. So that's really the issue. So I'll move to a sunnier place someday soon, and that is something that I'm seriously looking into, because you know, when you have environmental factors, you have to change it somehow. And so, honey, I wish I can go to Hawaii. I wish I could live in Hawaii. Oh, I would love that. So we're at 50 minutes. I'm going to do the last 10 and then I'll wrap it up. Let me know if you guys want more videos like this. I know this one was a little all over the place with me running in kind of, late and very impromptu, and me still figuring out this whole little live thing. But I think it went pretty well. Next time I could be set up a little bit more and know what to do now that we got the first one under our belt. If you have any questions and stuff, guys, make sure that you just ask away. If I don't know the answer, believe it or not, I try to find it out for you and for me. Because a lot of questions that you guys ask are really, really good questions. So even when I don't know the answer, I want to know the answer, so then I will look it up and try to, see, find out what it is so I can tell you guys, and also from my own knowledge. How long did it take to raise your levels? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. I first discovered my deficiency in December of 2015. I was hospitalized in the summer of 2015. And we didn't find out about the deficiency. We found out about the deficiency in December. So ever since then, they've kind of been fluctuating up and down. I know once I went, it was 26, 27. My doctor said my last reading was a 40. It's just all over the place. Just up and down, up and down. But pretty much I go by how I'm feeling. When I start to feel shaky, I get a lot of shakiness. Even a little bit of staggering when I walk. Extremely fatigued, really cloudy, and some staggering. I believe for me, I believe it's a combination of both, the vitamin D and the anemia. Because I have them both, I don't sometimes know where to separate to say which, exact symptom goes with this. I think that the combination of having anemia and vitamin D is just a funky combination. I mean, iron anemia can do you in by itself. So having that along with the vitamin D is just, they both have some similarities. Like they both can cause brain fog and fatigue. So I think having them both together, it just amplifies things. Okay, me too. Hemoglobin was 5.4 last year. It was horrible. Did you have to get infusions or transfusions or anything like that? I forgot what my hemoglobin was. It wasn't that low though when I did the infusions. Transfusions, that's what I was thinking. I was just at the borderline. I want to say maybe, I really can't remember. It was under 10. And so I had to do the infusions. Did the transfusions make you feel better? Like how long did it take for you to feel better from having the transfusions? Fibroids. Let's talk fibroids. I have fibroids. Not to bring you all up in my personal, but no, I have fibroids, and I recently, really, so you might benefit from this. I recently learned that there's a correlation, and you guys can look this up, between women with fibroids and vitamin D deficiency. I first read that in Oprah magazine or something, Oprah online, and then I looked further into it, and yeah, there's a definite correlation between fibroids and vitamin D deficiency. And over the time that I've been diagnosed with vitamin D deficiency, my fibroids have grown centimeters. So mine are 2 out of hand. I have small fibroids, and I have 4 that are 5 centimeters each. And they've grown to 5 centimeters over the past year or two. So that's very interesting. I'm looking into the myomectomy, I believe it's called, and possibly having them removed if they continue to grow larger. I kind of don't want to. I'm such a scary cat. I don't really want to get a surgery done, but if I have to, and if it's going to make me feel better, then so be it. Thank you for bringing that up. Really? What was your recovery time with your myomectomy? That's something that I'm really looking into because I'm not getting a hysterectomy. That's just that. Okay, that's not bad. Oh my God, these little bugs. I have my window open, so they are just coming in. I will. I want to ask you guys something before we leave each other. I'm gonna do this once a week. Is that something that you think that you guys will want to see? And if so, if you can tell me maybe like, do you want this in the evening or is this something that you would like during the daytime? Okay, great. Because I don't mind doing this and I learn a lot from it. And I know I've been saying the videos are coming, especially Beauty Addict. I felt so bad because I really remember when you guys asked me, you have more videos coming? I've been making videos and I've been watching them. And then I'll get a little, ladies, like, oh my gosh, I look horrible in this, or, but I'm past that now. I don't really care. The objective is for us to feel better, and, you know, that's that. But I have been doing the videos, I just wasn't putting them up. But this is something that I think we can do weekly, and also I will get back to a weekly video on this and just other health issues or other health topics, because at the end of the day, this is all about creating a better health for yourself. This is about self-care at the end of the day. I also have a belief that we all got here because we weren't paying ourselves enough attention. Being mothers, wives, working, you're always ripping and running somewhere. We just, it's life thing and I love. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm glad too. The D3 gummies. Yeah, I think that this is just a wake-up call. So, if you're at home right now, you're feeling crappy, we're still here. We're still here. So when you're feeling anxious, remember, this is temporary. I have to talk myself through it. When I'm feeling all jittery or, anxious, which I can't stand it. Especially in public settings, or especially when I did my first official gig 2 weeks, and I was a bundle of nerves, and I felt like it just was the worst feeling in the world, but I had to coach myself through it. Like, girl, it is the vitamin D, it's not you. It is your anemia, it's not you. It's whatever, but it is not me. And over time, it just came down. So just remember, we got here because something we did, we weren't giving ourselves enough attention or eating properly, or supplementing cause you to have loss of appetite, weight loss. I think it could. I think it depends on the supplements. Also, if you're taking supplements and they don't make you feel good, skip it and try something else. I have a cabinet full of supplements that I'm not taking. So in the next video, maybe we can talk about the supplementation and the different supplements, what I found are good, some that bother me. I had to stop taking my multivitamin altogether because it triggers anxiety. Some supplements have tons of fillers, so I don't know if it's an allergic reaction that I'm having to a filler or whatever. So I'm just keeping it moving. When I try one and it doesn't work out, I'm just keeping it moving to something else, giving it a go, praying that it works. If it doesn't, and a lot of vitamin shops or vitamin stores will take your supplements back. This group is so oh, thank you. Thank you. So if you got those supplements and you try them, girl, keep your receipt. Fellas, keep your receipts. If you're like me, I will take something back in a heartbeat. I will take it back in a heartbeat. So that's something. And a lot of the vitamin stores are really good about it. Like, they're better about it than you would believe. I didn't know that I could take them back, but I tried a vitamin D that I didn't like. And I was talking to the lady in the vitamin shop about it, and she's like, just bring it back and try something different. I didn't know I could. So that's what sparked that. So do check with your places that you get your vitamins from and see what their policies are, because you may be able to bring it back. I'll answer a couple more questions and then I'm going to let you guys go because I could do this all night. Okay, and these bugs are getting to me. I don't want too many more of. Constipation. I didn't really deal with that. Bye, NYC Chocolate. Have a good night. God bless you. I would say if you're dealing with constipation, maybe that's a, I find that to always be a sign to check your diet. And like, try, look at what you're eating. I don't know if any of you use MyFitnessPal. It's free, but I started logging what I eat, more so not really about the calories, but more so just so that I can remember what I ate. And there's a little note box section that I put notes in for myself to let myself know how I felt that day, so that you can go back to it and kind of see if maybe something is triggering it. So I would suggest that, or either you can just, write it down. In the days that you feel, constipated, you'll be able to look back and see, okay, well, I ate this that day and I had the same thing on this day, to kind of figure things out. I was speaking to, I think it was Ashley before, and I was mentioning keeping a journal. So you can keep a journal, and drink tons of water. Like you need it. You need it. I drink at least 2 of these a day, filter water. And this has been like and then write on like a food journal so that you can go back and see. Even if you just do it for like 2 weeks, just be, no pun intended, but just be anal about what you're writing down, on what you're eating for about 2 weeks, so that you can go back and look through. Yeah. So, ladies, gentlemen, I think it was a couple guys in here tonight. First of all, I want to thank you all for joining. Do you guys want me to end yet, or do you want me to go another 5 minutes? I just don't want to seem like I'm holding you guys up. So you can let me know, and because I know it's getting a little bit late. Yeah, it's 10:24. So, thank you. So to end it on this, what we'll do is 10:24. So we'll end it at 10:30. So I'll go another 5 minutes if you guys have any questions or any ideas or anything that you want to see on the channel, health related. I do want to. I had an idea that I've been wanting to do, which is simple. I just want you guys. Let me see. Not as much as I should. Okay, she's answering the question. We're all human, and sometimes when we're watching YouTube, it looks so put together and just so, constructed and contrived and things like that. So, one of the reasons why I really wanted to do this also is because I want people to see me now. Even though I'm still at an 18, I do know that I feel much better. So it's enlightening or inspiring, I guess it can be, when you're seeing someone and they're still going. So, that was just a thought. So I'll be putting up more videos. I hope you guys watch it. And, we'll go from there. I'm going to end it a little bit earlier because I see you guys kind of leaving. And, yeah. So we did 1 hour and 4 minutes. First of all, I want to lastly, I want to thank you all, everyone that came into the live. I thank you guys so much for, spending this time with me, because I know that you could have been doing anything else. I hope that the information shared on here between you and I, and between you and each other. I can't wait to see you guys too. And I hope that the information that was shared on here was really beneficial. So tonight when we all leave and we all go to sleep, we can all know we're good. You have any little anxious moments, we know what's causing it. And we're all going to do our best to self-love on ourselves a little bit more, and do the things that we need for us, because we need that. Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to end it here. God bless you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Continue to leave your comments, and again, I'm going to address those in a separate video. So take care, everybody. Good night.